tonight captured just hours before Kylie was last seen. Right now, investigators pouring through hundreds of tips in the case, along with cell phone video, anything that could help them retrace Kylie's last steps and any conversations she may have had with people at that party. Kylie's mom is going to be joining me live in just a moment, but first I want to turn to correspondent Nancy Liu with the very latest in the search for answers tonight and Kylie. Nancy.
Marnie, the Placer County Sheriff's Office says over 5.
The interesting part of this, or parts I should say, is a lot of it does not add up. The party was supposed to have been a small party that grew to like 200 plus or 300 plus. So far from what is out there, there's no photos of the 16-year-old or her friends at this party. You know how 16-year-olds are. They take photos, especially females. They take photos all the time. Partying, hanging out, joking, whatever it may be. Or even photos. So far, none of that's came out. The only thing is from that surveillance video from the store. And some of the stories the friends or people that knew Kylie Rodnni is putting out there, it seemed like it's kind of making like an alibi for them. Some of it's just not adding up to me, sitting right. I'm questioning if she actually ever made it to the party. If possibly there's a few things I'm looking at on this whole thing. Did her friends or supposed friends do something to her before the party even started? They took her phone and her car, drove there, and then ended up sneaking back out at a later time. Or the other part is her mom. I believe her mom possibly could have something to do with this as well, because I've seen interviews of her mom talking about her daughter in the past tense, talking about basically, I'll be able to pull the video up here in a minute, that she wasn't going to search for her daughter and wasn't going to try to talk to her daughter's friends to get information because she's not trained on how to search for a missing child, and she's not trained on how to get information. I'm sorry, if that was my child, I would be out there every minute doing whatever I could do. Something, go look in places nobody's looking. Just talk to the friends, try to gain more information. What type of drinks was she drinking? Who were some of the people she was hanging out with and talking to? Was she talking to some of these boys or young guys that they knew or didn't know? I'd be asking all kinds of questions if she was my daughter. So it just kind of strikes me odd that her mom, talked about her in past tense and then also said that. So it's leading me to believe either the friends had something to do with it, or based off of her mom's actions and what she was saying, leads me to believe her mom had something to do with her own daughter.
Still no sign of her or her car.
I don't know where she is. We don't have anything to go off of at this point, but I fully believe that she's alive and well.
Kylie Rodnni's boyfriend says he is optimistic, sharing what he told her before she went to the party Friday night with her friends.
So I was just like, okay, be safe. Don't, do anything stupid.
But now he is among the many others putting up flyers in the massive search for the California teen now entering day 6.
If you have video of that night, detectives want more of it. There has been a lot of video provided, and some of it had to do with a fight that occurred at the party. Detectives right now are asking for any additional video that you have.
Law enforcement are searching across the Tahoe National Forest.
That right there tells me the police do not have any video footage of the young lady that's missing whatsoever. Because he talked about there was a fight, but he didn't mention that Kylie was in it whatsoever. Mentioned other videos, didn't mention that Kylie was in any of them either. Seemed like he would have, saying yes, we could definitely place her at this party. I don't know, it just seems like a lot of information is lacking, or the transparency is lacking for a certain reason, possibly because they have, you know, somebody in mind and don't want to tip anybody off. That could be another possibility on this situation as well.
Wants to go to a party or go somewhere, make sure they go with someone and make sure they return with those people. Don't leave anybody behind.
Driving out of that campground area at night is treacherous, but so far no sign of Kylie's SUV or her. Law enforcement released images of a sweatshirt Kylie borrowed that night with it.
Another thing is, why would her mom or her father allow their 16-year-old daughter to go to a party in the woods that's hard to navigate at nighttime? And on top of that, it seems like her mom had an idea of what type of party this was going to be, that there would probably at least be alcohol at this party. And how a lot of young people are nowadays, it seems like there's a lot of drugs at parties as well. I don't know. I don't think it's very good to knowingly let your child, especially your daughter, go off into the middle of the woods and party with a bunch of males, and you have no idea exactly the ages of these males that are showing up, anything about them. You know absolutely nothing about them. If she were my child, I would have said, no, you're not going. Now, I understand people say, well, you know, teenagers, you know, they'll find a way, they'll party. I get it. I've been there. I've done that. But you can do everything you can do to prevent stuff from happening, especially, you know, to a young lady. And I know people say, oh, it's sexist. You want to keep your daughter in the house, but you let your son go out. Well, there is a reason for that. You know, it's not that, you know, folks like me and other parents don't think the female, or, you know, our daughter, you know, isn't capable of taking care of themselves. It's that they have a harder time of defending themselves against the male versus, you know, a male defending off another male. Even if there's alcohol involved, the male has a better chance of defending off another male versus a female that's drunk, because it takes less alcohol to get a female drunk. So it's just not a good mixture. I don't understand why her mother let her go to this party and then go to sleep without her daughter ever showing up at home. You know, to me, that's just kind of mind-boggling. Something does not add up.
Of a sweatshirt Kylie borrowed that night with an eerie caption reading, "You don't want to be forgotten, you just want to disappear." Kylie's mother is garnering strength from the community.
It's this community that's standing behind me and standing with me and supporting me and holding me up that is allowing me to fake you guys into all thinking that I have it together, even the smallest bit.
We just want word out so that more eyes are out, because we don't have an exact spot to look for, and that is unusual, especially with a large object like a car.
It's not clear yet whether the...
Right, Nancy, thank you. I want to welcome in Lindsay Rodney Neiman. She is Kylie's mother. Lindsay, thank you so much for giving us some time tonight. I know.
Now, this is the young lady's mom. I just want you all to pay attention to her eyes. You know, you could see that she's looking off, that she seems distracted, or when she's talking about like the investigation or the police, she's constantly looking off. When she's talking about that type of situation, when she's talking about other things, her eyes are focused, you know, pretty much on the camera. And then also listen to the words that she's using when describing her daughter.
Kylie's mother, Lindsay, thank you so much for giving us some time tonight. I know it's important to keep Kylie's story out there. The more people that see her face, hear about it, can help in the search. How are you doing tonight?
I'm tired, but I'm doing okay. Thanks. How are you?
Well, I'm thinking about you, and I'm thinking about that last text message that you shared with Kylie. Tell me more about what she said.
Well, she just, it was 11:30 at night, and she said that she was going to be planning on leaving about 12:15 and heading home. And I told her to, be careful and wake me up when she got home. And she said, "Okay, Mama, I love you." And
Now, see, this is what I was getting at when I was talking about. Why would she go ahead and go to bed knowing her daughter's out in the middle of the woods with a bunch of people that she may or may not know? She probably had a good idea there's alcohol at this party. And if you notice, seemed like she got distracted a little bit, and now she's got a big smile on her face, while doing this interview. Let's continue.
Be careful and wake me up when she got home. And she said, "Okay, Mama, I love you." And that was it.
Do you have any reason to doubt, Lindsay, that Kylie sent that message? Did it sound or seem like a text that she would normally send as you're looking back at things?
It was a text that she could send me over and over again every time. Every time she was settling on plans and figuring out, like what she was doing. She was always checking. She was always letting me know where she was, when she was leaving, where she was going next. And it was, it was her, "Hey, Mama, I'm on my way home in a little bit, so I'll see you soon." It wouldn't have been unusual for me to even get another text from her, another half hour, 40 minutes later, letting me know that she was on her way the last little bit to our house.
So that was late Friday night, kind of into the early morning hours of Saturday. At what point did you start to worry, get concerned?
Well, I woke up 8 o'clock on Saturday morning and immediately realized that she had not woken me up. And so, I thought my husband was home. Maybe she checked in with him. And so I got up and I looked at the driveway, and her car wasn't there. And I looked at her room, and she wasn't there. And I reached for my phone and I grabbed,
Okay, so she noticed when she got up at 8 o'clock in the morning, her daughter wasn't home. She said she looked in the driveway, didn't see the car, went to her room, didn't see her daughter. But she never mentions anything about, was her husband still at home? Was he at work? Did she contact her husband and say, "Hey, our daughter's not home"? Did she check in with you and already head back out this morning? What's going on? And then right here, as you can see on the screen, I guess she had a thought or something, and it was funny. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and laughed. I mean, to me, it just seems like an inappropriate time to laugh. I know people could say, "Oh, it's a nervous laugh" or something, but like I said, listen to her wording and watch her eyes about different topics. Watch her eyes throughout the whole entire thing and her actions. I'll back it up and we'll start back over on this. Hold on.
I wasn't there, and I looked at her room, and she wasn't there, and I reached for my phone and I grabbed, I grabbed my phone and I looked for her location that she always shared with me. And the last update it had was from the party site about midnight. And so at that point, I reached out to her dear friend to see if she was there. And once we found out that she wasn't there, it's terrible.
And then that panic as a parent sets in. Police, Lindsay, not ruling out the possibility that Kylie may have been abducted, even trafficked.
Now, another thing that kind of threw me off is she said she reached out to her dear friend. I don't understand why she's not saying her friend's name. Was her dear friend at the party? Does anybody know who the quote-unquote dear friend is? I mean, because that to me seems like that would help the investigation and whatnot. I don't know. Just a lot of questions in this, and a lot of stuff's not adding up. Again, it's either I have a feeling the friends did something, but I have a little bit stronger feeling that the mom might have actually done something.
That Kylie may have been abducted, even trafficked. How much are investigators sharing with you about the tips coming in and where they're at in the search?
All right, now start watching her eyes. You all have noticed her eyes have been focused pretty much on the camera the whole time, except just a few little times here and there, like when she kind of giggled a few times. But now start really paying attention even more to her eyes. And if you got to, back the video up and watch the whole thing again. But really start paying attention to her eyes, and again, of how she's speaking about her daughter, who is not confirmed dead or alive. People is hoping and praying the girl is alive. I have a feeling she's not, going off of the wording that the mother used.
The tips coming in and where they're at in the search.
The law enforcement, all of the teams who have been working together with us to find her have been, they've been working, day and night. It seems I see them and so tired. They have been so transparent with us. They've been so open to keeping the communication between them and the investigation and the family just so open. Unfortunately, just none of the tips yet have led to anything definitive that's helping us.
What else stands out to you, Lindsay?
Now, another thing, if you all didn't catch, if you notice, she's been looking off to the left side of the screen, towards the images. You can see she's, when she's talking, it seems like about the police or the investigators or the search, she's been looking, off to, her right-hand side, which is obviously our left-hand side. And then she said they've been keeping communication open with the investigators and the family. It's her daughter. That did not make sense to me. Why would she say they're keeping communications open with the family when she is the family? I don't know. I'm just questioning a lot of stuff. And I've been watching a lot of different interviews and information that's out there. This is just, my point of view and questioning of the situation.
Unfortunately, just, none of the tips yet have led to anything definitive that's helping us.
What else stands out to you, Lindsay, about that night as you talked to her friends about the conversations that they were having, what was going on at the party? Any of those clues rising to the surface, your mother's instinct, like honing in on something particular?
I am letting the police and the teens talk to one another. I am not a trained investigator. I am not someone who has any experience with finding missing children. It's not my position to talk to any of these people and try to figure out what happened. I'm leaving that all to everyone who I trust and I know has the capability and the determination to do so.
Well, it is clear.
Now, see, this is what really struck me as odd. She's admitted she's not searching for her daughter because she's not trained to search for missing children. I don't care if I'm trained or not trained. If my daughter is missing, I'm going to be out there searching. You know, go hiking trails, go look in different spots, talk to people, try to understand, you know, who was your daughter talking to? Who was she hanging out? Ask some of the friends that were there. Did she know some of the boys that she was talking to? Or did you know some of these boys she was talking to? Or other girls that she was talking to? But as you heard her say, she's not a trained investigator. So she's not going to ask her daughter's friends anything about the situation. And she's not going to search for her daughter because she's not trained on how to search for missing children. That struck me as really odd. And then when she was talking, before they cut to the photo again of her daughter, she was looking off to her right hand side yet again when she's talking about that. But earlier on in the interview, for the most part, she had her eyes pretty much on the camera. It seemed like her eyes only started going off to the right when she's talking about the police, the investigation, and now, you know, about searching for her daughter and talking to the friends and try to understand stuff. Something to me is not right by some of her actions and some of her wording. It just striking me as odd. Now, I do hope I'm wrong, that she did not do anything to her daughter or anybody else did anything to her daughter and she's alive. You'll hear in a minute why I feel and believe that she might have done something to her daughter. I'm not saying she did 100%. I'm just saying that's my opinion on how I feel. From this interview and some others that she's done.
Someone who has any experience with finding missing children, it's not my position to talk to any of these people and try to figure out what happened. I'm leaving that all to everyone who I trust and I know has the capability and the determination to do so.
Well, it is clear from the video that we've seen of the dozens and dozens of volunteers out there, your family and all of those involved. There's a lot of love for Kiely tonight and the efforts to bring her home safely. I was looking at that video of her playing some music. Tell us about your daughter, a little bit personally about her. What makes her so special?
Everything makes her special. I'm going to try to get through this. Excuse me. She's such a dynamic human. She has been, as you see, so musical. She loves playing music. She started playing at a very young age. It was the first time she got her first violin and started playing. And she loves science. She loves baking. She loves dancing, as you can see in the photo you're sharing right now. She's so dynamic, and in that dynamic personality that she has, she has been able to make true connections with practically everybody she meets because she has a common interest with them. And so there just doesn't seem to be anybody ever who I come across who has met her who doesn't just love her. And oh God, you know, I mean, she was so smart, she's so funny, and she's great with little.
Now, she said her daughter has been, which is past tense, and she said her daughter was, also meaning past tense. That's why I'm questioning if the mother had something to do with it. And think she kind of slipped up a minute ago. Again, my opinion, when she said my daughter loved playing music, she goes, my daughter loved, and then she goes, loves playing music. Because if she said her daughter loved playing music, I would question, okay, she loved playing music. Why does she not play music anymore? Why does she not love playing music anymore? So let's listen to this again, and I'll break it down, from my point of view again.
That dynamic personality that she has, she has been able to make true connections with practically everybody she meets because she has a common interest with them. And so there just doesn't seem to be anybody ever who I come across who has met her who doesn't just love her. And oh God, she was so smart, she's so funny, and she's great with little kids. She's like this magnet for toddlers. They come and they run, and she gets down on their level. And
okay, you heard it. She said she was so smart and she was so funny. What's changed that? Because using was when talking about a loved one, that's past tense. So if her daughter was smart and was funny, I know people are gonna say, she's emotional, she's upset. I understand that. But if your loved one was not dead, you would not be talking about them in past tense. Unless, like I said, you could say so-and-so was good at playing music, and then you would say they were, good at it, but they got injured and they could no longer play. But I don't know. It's just some red flags here and there for me on this. Definitely this interview with the way the mother is talking about her daughter and the eye movement and some of the laughs at random spots. Again, I know people will say, because she's emotional, she's been going through a lot. I get that, I understand that, but at the same time, she's not talking to any of her daughter's friends. She said she's not doing that, and she's not searching because she's not trained on how to investigate or how to find a missing child. That strikes me as odd. And then her saying her daughter was funny and was smart really strikes me as very odd.
About everything that's wonderful about my daughter.
An amazing person, embracing life. What would you want to say to Kylie tonight?
Tonight, I will tell Kylie that I love her so much. So many people love you. And we're all...
Now, did you all catch that? She said, if you could, what would you say to your daughter? And she goes, well, I'll say tonight, I'll love her. Or I love her. Let's watch that again.
Amazing person, embracing life. What would you want to say to Kylie tonight?
Tonight, I will tell Kylie that I love her so much. So many people love you.
Now, the lady doing the interview asked her, what would she say to her daughter tonight? And she said, the mother said, I will tell Kylie. Again, that just kind of strikes me as odd. Because how can she tell her daughter if she doesn't know where her daughter's at? How could she go tell her daughter on that interview? How could she go tell her daughter tonight when she said, I will tell my daughter tonight, I love you? I don't know. Again, I'm just questioning stuff. To me, that just strikes me as odd. And again, I understand emotions running high, being upset, but some of this stuff she's saying, it just seems really out of place. You know, I've seen lots of these cases. You know, people are emotional, they're upset, they'll go to the ends of the earth to find their missing child, and you can watch them all over YouTube. Very rarely does the loved one use past tense when speaking about their child. And then this last part of the interview, she said she would go tell her daughter. She said, I'll tell her tonight I love her. But yet she supposedly doesn't know where her daughter is. I don't know. Again, it's just my opinion and my point of view. Just some red flags all over this situation with the whole party situation. If the daughter was there or actually there or not, I don't know. And then the situation now with the mother in this interview, I don't know. It's something striking me as really, really odd. We'll play it again.
What would you want to say to Kylie tonight?
Tonight I will tell Kylie that I love her so much. So many people love you. And we're all looking and we're trying so hard, and I'm so sorry we haven't found you yet, but we're not giving up, and just hang in there, sweetie, because we'll find you soon, bring you home.
And Lindsay, a message to anybody who was at the party Friday night who is afraid to come forward and share anything they know, anything that they saw, for fear of getting in trouble for what they were doing that night.
Oh, nobody cares about what you were doing. Nobody cares, I promise you. That's all that we care about is bringing Kylie back. All that we care about is getting any kind of little bit of information that can help us move forward in our search to find her. And we promise you that you won't get in any trouble. We promise you. There's anonymous tip lines even. There's other peers that you can reach out to if you're nervous. It's a hard thing to be courageous, and it's okay to be scared, and it's also okay and important to act on that courage and to come forward when you know it's right.
Lindsay, sending you a lot of love tonight. We're thinking about you.
All right, folks. Well, that's the whole interview on this one. I'm not sure how to pull up the other interviews and get them mixed in, you know, all that stuff. But I just wanted to share this with you all. Maybe and help some people out on maybe some clues or maybe more of an understanding. I don't know. I'd love to see this young lady, you know, be safe, you know, and alive. You know, I just hope I'm wrong. My opinion and, you know, understanding of this whole situation, I hope I'm wrong. But there's just a lot of stuff in this interview, this whole thing. It just doesn't set right. That just does not pass the smell test. And like I said, her mother's actions, parts of the interview, she kept looking off camera like she was really uncomfortable or trying to think of what she was going to try to say. It's kind of why people do tend to look off, is trying to think of what they're going to say instead of just responding naturally. And then again, like I said, she talked about her daughter in past tense like 3 times. And then she said she would tell her daughter that she loved her tonight. I don't know, folks. I can't say 100% the mom has anything to do with it, but it's just, I don't know. It's just not sitting well with me. I believe they need to ping the mother's cell phone location as well if they haven't already, because something just seems really off. And along with the mother said she won't talk to any of her daughter's friends because she's not a investigator, and she's not going to search for her own child because she's not trained on how to search for missing children. I don't know. You can leave your comment down below. Let's have a conversation. You can bring up some of your points of views on this as well. But again, I hope I'm wrong about, my assessment of this, and that the young lady is safe and alive. Until then, I'll see y'all on the next video, and God bless.